Hey, good day, everybody. I'm Bill Warner with Onterdot. What we're doing here is the sixth in a series of videos on winning through excellence in sales, as the title says. So this is number 6. And it's part of a playlist that covers this whole subject and goes through everything from market all the way through how to make the proposal. And now, guess what? You got a chance to negotiate it. So this one is all about negotiation. Before we get into it though, look, I'd love to see you take a look at this playlist on our YouTube channel. And go to the Onterdot YouTube channel and subscribe. Take a look at this playlist and many others. Many others on starting your own company, financing it, which is awfully difficult to do. How to do marketing. That one's got a lot of videos in it because it's a big subject, and many, many others. There's about 40 of them. But the ones done over the last several months, 3 or 4 months, are the best of the bunch, I think, as I hone my skills in how to present in this medium. This is all quite new to me, quite frankly. So let's get on into negotiation. This is now, in the scheme of things, after you have submitted your proposal, you've gone through the sales meeting, you're fully understanding what you think they want, and you know how to deliver what they want because you've given them a proposal that tells exactly how you're going to do it and what it costs and what the payment terms are, all this stuff that your customer has to agree to. So we're going to go through now the important things that you have to do here. And quite frankly, this is part process and part art form. I did a post a little while ago. I likened it to a poker game where you're reading the room, you're reading people, and you're not so much worried about your card as you're worried about what they're thinking and what they're doing and what it means. So you've got to be prepared, first of all, with a great proposal, which you have been, but be really prepared for the negotiation itself. And you're going to have incredible patience, and you're going to have to be very purposeful. Know what you want. That's being purposeful. Know what your limits are. I guess I'll put it that way. Later I'll talk about know when to walk. But let me not get ahead of myself. Let's talk about the process. The first step is the ask. This is all formed by you literally coming from what it is that you proposed in your proposal for meeting their needs and how you're going to fulfill them. Your ask is, here's how we're going to do it, and we want this much money to do it and this much time to deliver it in, and all of the other legal gobbledygook that's in your sales contract. That's what you're asking for. You're asking for them to agree to your sales proposal. And your ask then becomes something like at the end of your long-winded speech about your ask, you say, look, I think this is going to be the best thing for your company. We are committed to delivering it. We'd like your agreement to this proposal we've made. We think it's the best proposal that we could possibly put together. We've got a great team on it. What do you think? You're done now. You've asked. Then what? I bet you don't know. I'll let you think about it. What do you do next? You've heard me say this many times. You listen. You shut the blazes up and listen. And when you think you got it, but you're not quite sure, you keep on listening. You ask further questions for clarification as they explain their viewpoint and what they think of your proposal. If you don't understand something they say, or you don't quite agree with it, ask them to clarify it further. Don't object. Don't come back with an answer just yet. You want to hear all of this out first because you want to know where you stand. Am I deep in a hole, or is there just a few issues that I'm pretty sure we can nail down? Keep on listening. But look, you listen in certain ways. You're listening for content. You're listening for positions they're taking. You're listening for reasons why they're saying what they're saying and why they're taking the position they're taking. But you listen with empathy. What's in their heads on this? Why do they object to that? How are they feeling about this? So, like in a poker game, you're playing the opponent. You're trying to understand, where the heck are they coming from here? If you don't understand, even with your empathetic listening, you're looking for clues as to why they like what they like and why they don't like what they don't like. So once you've listened, the next thing is, now you're ready to take a position. You listen to the objections and you have calculated in your head where the biggies are. Quite frankly, there's lots of styles of this. That's why I say it's part art form. But let's keep it simple. Let's go for the biggies first. You can sneak up on it by solving a few simple things. Well, we could do this and we could do that. We could readily agree to what you asked for there. And then narrow it down to the cruncher, the position you're in on some really important aspects, like the price and the payment terms and 14 features that you forgot. Those are kind of big. So in response to this listening, where your customer has explained what they think of your proposal, you do have to take them one by one. And hopefully you would take in a few notes as the person went through it, and you start working them through. And for every single one by one, this is going to be mind-numbing. One by one, you talk them out. What is it you'd rather have than that? Why is it that you think this feature we're offering is not needed? Why do you think the price for that part of the proposal is too high? You want to dig in. Those are kind of superficial questions, but you want to dig in to learn more and more, where are they coming from? And listening for, well, how can I fix that? Can I change the proposal? Can I put additional functionality in? Okay, can I reduce the price? I had that one buffered up pretty well. I can give a little bit on that. But this listening has led you to trying to understand where they're coming from, and one by one, you take a position on what they've said. And as you go through these one by one, you try to resolve them. As you're doing this, there's gives and takes. So item by item, you offer an alternative, and they respond. And they say, okay, I could agree to that, but there's still this thing that we don't like about this proposal. So you tick these off one by one. It's like breaking down a brick, one piece at a time with your hammer. But there's a back and forth discussion between the two of you in an honest attempt to really understand what it takes to get them to agree. You may have to give a little bit more. You may have to accelerate a schedule. You may have to put in an additional function. You may have to take out something. But as you go through this, these gives and takes add up. So theoretically, for every give, you take something in return. So at the end of it all, you may have wound up giving more than you took, but you're not a pushover, and you don't take anything in return. So back when you were listening to their position, you think of things that you could take in return in trade for things that you give them. Quite often these negotiations have a lot to do with how much money they have to actually spend on it, how much they think is reasonable in terms of a schedule, and how quickly it should be delivered, and certain functionality that they wanted that you didn't offer, but you're convinced that they don't. Then you explain why they don't need it. All sorts of situations, but don't get overwhelmed because there's so many of them. Break it down, take them one by one, and go on to the next. And what you'll find yourself doing is item by item reaching a compromise. You can become the great compromiser. And that's part of the art form, is finding the way, finding the path towards a compromise to have them get enough of what they want for you to take in return what you need, point by point, issue by issue, till you get through them all and you either got a deal or you don't. And the outcome of this negotiation could be one of two things. When you walked into this negotiation in the first place, you had a walk-away price, a walkaway set of terms, not all of them, but the ones that really matter, like payment terms, a lot of terms that you're not going to argue over even. But you had a point in terms of your position on this negotiation that if you were pushed beyond it, you'll say, I'm sorry, I guess we can't do business. And you walk away. You walk away as a professional. This is not an argument. This is not personal. It says we just could not reach agreement. I am so sorry. Maybe it take a few days. We think about this further. We can talk again, but I don't think we're going to be able to close this today. Have a good day. Of course, the thing you do want to happen is that they say, okay, I think we have an agreement here. Let's get this contract modified and let's come back together and hash out anything final that we might have that came up in the last few days and sign this agreement. We'd like to go ahead. And you say, yeah, we got it. We got a customer. So that's how it kind of goes. So negotiation is a talent and an art form, and you've got to master it both ways. Negotiate from strength. Strength. Be prepared, be patient, and be purposeful. And when you're negotiating from strength, you're going to have a good day.